Y'all tune in. Tune in. Y'all tune in. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you're from. You already know. Okay. Y'all, I want to give a shout out to Natasha Cooper for interviewing the fisherman. Okay. Now, in a way, I kind of feel sorry for the fisherman because the fisherman is the person that found Michael Miller. Okay, so y'all tune in. Y'all come on in. I'm getting tired of come on. Come in. I need to get me some coffee. I didn't. Okay, my first person who just come in, hit that like button for me, okay? 'Cause I see you got to be one of mine because you popped up. Okay. They said they want to hear everything. All right, y'all. Come on. I know. I want to give out shout out to my subscribers and those who participate in the comment section. All right, y'all doing an awesome job, okay? And make sure you hit that notification bell so you can get all the videos, man. I got so many videos for y'all. I got about like 9 point some video. I love creating videos and use my strategy. So I want to, like I said, I want to give a shout out to thank you for hitting the like button, baby. That's all. 'Cause I just be wanting to know do it work. Okay, y'all, what we want to do is give a shout out to Natasha Cooper. Okay, Natasha Cooper is a TikToker. You know, I'm famous on TikTok. Okay, and Natasha is like a true crime. You know, everybody consider themselves as a true crime. So I am so interested in that fisherman. So I heard the fisherman. Um, uh, I heard. I saw the video of the fisherman when he had the news interview. Right now, since he went to a YouTube, well, a TikTok, I guess, by the name of Natasha. Natasha, I think I said Cooper. Okay. Let's break this down, y'all.
um, claiming things that aren't true as far as he goes and as far as what he saw and what actually happened. And y'all know I have been very vocal about this from jump about people accusing him of something. What he's trying to do is help people.
Okay, that's Johnny. I think his name Johnnie. That's the fisherman that allegedly looks like the man in the store, but it's not supposed to be the man in the palm shop. Y'all remember the palm shop video? I did another video on that. Okay, for y'all, check it out in my shorts. Okay, now that's not him. Okay, this him on here. This him. This is he who you heard cough.
So, a couple of the things that Johnny and I talked about on the phone a little bit ago. Um, Number one, this map that I have on the screen. So y'all can see it has the observation deck, then the couple in the kayak. I mean, that's not the kayak. They were actually in a boat, so excuse that.
But three people, baby. Three people was in that boat.
There was three people in the boat, and it should be further back into the little part. Yeah.
Yes, so, bring it further back.
Yep, that one needs to go further back. So they were further up in there. So that's where the three people in the kayak were, and there was
in the boat, baby, in the
boat, not a kayak.
Now you see how he straightened her out. Now she's supposed to be interviewing him. Now I ain't talking about nothing like that. I'm saying she's supposed to be interviewing him, and he correcting her. See how we can put the wrong news out. They in a boat. It was three other. Y'all remember we was talking about the other people in the boat? Okay, and this is why they didn't interview them. But there were three other peoples up in the cut. Okay, in a boat. Okay, just, just pay attention because we just started. Okay, just pay attention. If you haven't been following the Michael Miller case, we gonna just be calm, y'all. Y'all got to pay attention. Okay, okay.
So the three people in that boat, the reason that they haven't been talked about, and the reason that Johnnie really hasn't talked about them very much, from what he told me, he never thought that they were really relevant to what happened.
Why?
Because he encountered them when he was leaving, correct?
I was in the river, what they call going up the river. I turn around and come back, so that's putting me coming back down the river. Where the red dot is at, that red dot needs to be moved back further up the river. Not in the lake, but up the river.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's where I passed them at when I was headed into the lake.
Okay.
You understand me?
I do.
But still, Johnny, if it was a gunshot, they would have heard the gunshot. I don't care how far you was up in the river. Still, they would have heard the gunshot. Okay.
I know what you're saying.
And I even talked with them and everything. I asked them, had they caught anything? They told me they hadn't caught nothing, that the water was so high, that they thought they weren't catching no fish. But anyway, so I left them. Remind you, they're still sitting there in the river. So I went on past them. That's when I went into what they call the lake, the slough. Okay, if you'll notice up there to the left, there's an observation deck.
Yep.
All right, there was people up there on that deck. There was a family. They were fishing off of that deck. It's an observation deck. You got a choice to just observe the water.
Okay, now we got an observation deck. We have a lake and a river. We got three people in the lake, and he in the river. I don't care. A gunshot is loud, y'all. I'm not going against him now. I'm using my thinking strategy. Okay, that's what I'm good at. Okay, still a gunshot is a gunshot. But he said the gun. Remember, the fisherman said at first that the gunshot wasn't loud. Okay, so they must have did something to block the sound. I don't know. I'm just talking.
Water or fish, whatever you want to do.
Oh, okay. You can fish off of it, so that makes sense why people would have been up there.
Yeah, you could fish off of that deck. Like I told you, there was probably 7 or 8 people up there on that deck.
Oh, well, that makes sense why they were up there if they were fishing.
Right. So right to the right of them, that's where the kayaker was at. And just say in between the observation deck, and the red dot that you've got up there.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the kayaker was sitting at fishing.
Okay.
Okay, so I just went on. God knows. Hold on. What have I done? Okay. So what I done, I just came into the lake and I headed back to the back part of that lake. And I just, all of a sudden, I heard a faint, just like a faint cry. I couldn't just tell you if it was a child or a man or one. I couldn't tell you.
Okay. I just don't understand that part. I don't understand that part. If it were a cry of a child, it'd be like, but that's what we sound like when we cry, like a child, right? He heard that cry. If he heard that cry, I'm not against him. If he heard a cry, if you at that fishing lake, he would echo and say, "Is you all right?" Like that. I'm saying because I've been to the lake plenty of times. And you do hear weird things, but not like no cry. Okay.
you what it was or who it was coming from. I'm nervous, y'all, so just forgive me. I couldn't tell you who it was or whatever. But anyway, I just kept fishing. Because, you just don't. If I'd have been able to see the girl or Michael or whoever it was at that time crying, if I would have been able to see that person, I would have, tried to find out what was going on with them, but I could not see them. So I went on further up into there, and if you can see the openings right there.
There's 3 of them. Let me make this a little bit smaller. So if you see the red dot where it says where the fisherman found Micah's stuff, so if you see, it almost looks like mountains, but it's entrances to little bitty areas.
Yeah, there's openings right there. I was on the back side. If you look at that one opening there, that's about where I was at fishing, right there. Okay. When I got to that part, that's when I heard the gunshot. No, she was still crying. I heard the gunshot.
Okay. If he is he right in here? If he right in here, anywhere in here, these people right here heard that gunshot. And these people on that deck heard that gunshot. Unless they trying to act like they ain't hear no gunshot. I know it got to be more than one person heard that gunshot.
Shot, the crying stopped. And I just thought to myself, I said, Lord, I hope something ain't happened what I just, what I thought had happened. Because, that's just what came to my mind. Still not knowing. But anyway, I just backed my boat up a little bit and I looked behind me. Then that's when the people in the John boat, the 3 people in the John boat, was coming into the lake. And I felt like the reason they was coming in there was because they heard the gunshot. Mm-hmm. And that's what I asked them. I said, did y'all hear the gunshot? And they said, yes. I said, well, I heard a small cry, a crying. And then I heard the gunshot, and then the crying stopped. I said, I just don't know. So anyway, I just turned and I looked. And if you will look up there, Natasha, up at the top, those openings, I looked in there, and I said, I can get up in there with my boat. Because I was in a little small one-man boat.
Okay, now remember when the newsman spoke to him, he said you can't give you. First, he said, I don't know, did he make a mistake? Because I believe everything he said, because he telling the story. He telling his story. The newsman, how you ask him, how you get up in there? How I get up in there? Like it was easy to get up in there. Now, I don't know what kind of, if he was on a boat, he couldn't got a boat up in there. Okay, but listen to him, because this is his story, okay?
I just decided to go up in there. So I went on up into the opening, probably maybe 30 to 40 yards.
Okay. He decided to go up into the opening to where he heard the gunshot. He decided to go up in the opening where he heard the gunshot. I wouldn't want to do that. But he must be a man. Because military people look at things different from us, y'all. Because my daughter military, and she said that she would have went in there. But I wouldn't have went over there. So I would have, you so used to hearing shots when you at the lake, you wouldn't even think that used to be like a gun range or something around there. You know what I mean? At different lakes. Okay.
So, and I happened to look up and I seen Michael's, or I didn't know whose it was at the time. I seen some belongings up on the bank. Poured up to the bank, picked up the stuff, and never looked.
Okay, but now I still just don't understand that part, y'all. If somebody bag was at the bank, why you touch it? Maybe it's somebody. I could have been on you the restroom somewhere. Y'all, if you ain't never been fishing before, you won't understand what I'm saying. How did he know that was her? That was Michael bag. It could have been my bag. I probably went to use the bathroom. Why did you touch my bag? Why did you? What make you go through there to go touch that bag if you didn't see nobody? Do that make sense? If you didn't see a body, why you go move that bag? I just on the part. Man, everybody ain't got common sense. Why you? Suppose it's my bag that you moved. First of all, you ain't got no business touching that don't belong to you. So I would have left that bag right there, and that could have helped the police out. But you should have took a picture of the bag. That's what we don't think no more. We just do. Took a picture of the bag, called 911, called the 911 or either the place out there where you were. Let them handle that. But you take a picture of the bag so in case the person come back and move that bag, you can at least say, oh wow, they moved that bag. It was a bag right there. You see, I took a picture. We got to think different, y'all. We got to think. I just him moving that bag, I just don't understand. I would have left it right there. That's just me. Took a picture of it. If I wanted that bad, I would have took a picture of it.
Bedded at that time. Her glasses was laying there, and her cell phone was laying there. I picked it up.
Why?
I seen it. There was a path that was leading down to where her stuff was at.
Okay.
I looked to the left, there was a clearing. I looked to the right, there was a clearing, and I walked both ways, just a little piece. I never did see him.
So y'all, it's amazing how people playing the cop out there. You evidence. You move the evidence, sweetie. Y'all people don't supposed to touch the evidence. The evidence was her book bag, was her fanny pack that she had on when she came into the pawn shop. I really didn't see no what she had. I had to go back and see that I see a fanny pack on her, looking at on her body. I was looking at her face. I just don't understand why people think it's right to go tamper with evidence. Y'all tampering with evidence. Take a picture of the evidence. See, if he had left that picture, that book bag right there, the people with common sense wouldn't be asking you that question right now. We still ain't saying he did that. But he got out that boat after he done heard a shot and a cry. Okay? And he looked for the person. You didn't see that person. So why did you touch that bag? Now, that bag would have told me that she was here. Or somebody put it there. Because you didn't, if she got shot, then the body wouldn't move from where it was, where the bag at, where the book bag is. But the body wasn't right there where the book bag is. So when she cried, she was up in the wood, or further up in the woods somewhere. Why you touch that bag? You can't just say because I did it because I wanted to. Could you tamper with evidence? Even though you didn't do nothing, and nobody accusing you, but I just want to know if I heard a gunshot and somebody cried, I'm not about to get intervene. I'm not about to get into it. I'm not about to get in it. I'm about to call the police. Let them do their job. Y'all need to let these police do their job like that.
Anything. I took her stuff, put it in the front of my boat, and got the hell up out of there. I got out of there because I was scared. I didn't know what was going on.
What the heck? Excuse me, YouTube. I'm sorry. What the heck are you talking about? You was scared. You couldn't have been scared. You went in there and moved evidence. You tampered with evidence. You went in there and moved a person you didn't know it was Micah at first, but you moved that evidence. Somebody took them shades, let that girl leave her shade. Okay, y'all. One thing we can't we if they're gonna say, look, y'all. Suppose she was. Let's look at it like this. Suppose she did commit suicide. Suppose she did do it. Then we got to look at everything over. But the thing is, with what he did, don't make sense. What he didn't do Michael no favor by going to moving that book bag. That book bag would have told the police right there who they were looking for and where it was found. Instead of me, what moving stuff. I heard a gunshot, so I was so scared I wouldn't even touch nothing. But y'all,
People's talking about how I'm seeing people saying that place was shallow. How did he get that boat up in there? This type of boat that I'm in, I had a trolling motor on it and everything. This type of boat that I'm in, I can float 4 to 5 inches of water.
Okay.
Remind you that the water was high.
Yeah.
So
another thing that we need to make sure to clarify and what people need to understand
the current.
Well, where you were at, where you were and where you found her belongings was not the same like it was more wide open.
Once I got in through the opening, it opened up a little bit. It opened up some pretty big. You know, I could move my butt around good. Yeah.
I think that's one thing that people are not understanding.
Okay, so you need to let him talk instead of you. So it looked inconvenient to us because it was kind of hard to get in the spot. But once the kind of boat that he has, it can move, float. You got to remember what he just said, that boat floated in there, okay? And it got wider once he got where he was. But the only thing I haven't heard him say that he didn't shout, "Hey, who out there?" or "Who over there?" He didn't shout for it.
Is if you look at the picture that Micah's family has shown and the picture the video that I showed tonight of the PI when he threw the stick in the water, you can see you can see right there how much wider and cleared out that area is as opposed to where her body was actually found.
Yes. I mean, people, you don't, if you don't know the river,
yeah,
you don't know what you're talking about. Plain and simple. You got to know. You got to know the river.
Or a river. I mean, they're all pretty much the same, but you have to understand how sloughs work. And they narrow. The further you go in, the narrower they get, and the shallower they get because it's just overflow from the river.
When it get a lot of rain, that fills up. That's where the water goes to.
That's what I've been trying to explain to people, and that's why I've been harping on the water levels are important for people to understand.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, that just because it's this deep one day doesn't mean it's going to be the same depth the next day.
That's right.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Will you tell them about the kayaker also?
Well, you remember I told you there was a kayaker in there too. When I went inside and had her belongings, and I don't know why I picked them up, I just picked the belongings up. I'm sorry, people, that I picked them up, but I did. And let me go ahead and remind you again, I did not look in it at that time. Okay.
But we're not interested in you looking in it. We're not interested in you looking in it. Because if you picked it up, you should have looked in it to find out who the person was. Why would you pick it up and don't look in it? Or why would you touch it out? I mean, come on, you ain't no 12-year-old man. You ain't no 15-year-old man. You ain't no 20-year-old man. You ain't no 21-year-old man. You're an older man. You know what time that is. And you know how they will accuse you of doing something. I'm just saying.
When I came back out of the opening where I found Michael's belongings at, I happened to look and I didn't see the kayaker. I said, I wonder where the kayaker went to. So, I mean, let me tell y'all, he was not involved in this neither. So I said, I wonder where the kayaker got to. But anyway, I found out later that he had left out of the slough.
Listen to y'all, that kayaker is a man. He laughing about it. A kayaker, that man ran. That man drove out of there real quick. Not him, but the kayaker.
And went back into the river. He told me that he got back in the river because he wasn't catching fish into the slough, so he decided to go to the river and try to catch fish out of the river. So for some reason he said he started hearing, he must have heard the laws coming up or something. I don't know. But he turned around. He told me that he went there and backtracked to where I was at. I said, "Bud, you're kidding." And he told me,
What? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna tell you why he backtracked. Not the fisherman. That the person who was in that kayak. The reason why he backtracked because he was coming to get the book bag, the fanny pack. He was coming back to get the glasses and the fanny pack. But he don't know that the man on the fisherman got everything. That's what the other person was doing, going there to pick up that, because he went in the same trap where the fisherman went into. So what he was doing was the fisherman messed up the plan of the person, who came back in behind him, because they supposed to be picking up her belongings. He needed to describe to the police, describe to us what he looked like. Now I'm surprised that lady and said, "Well, did you how he look?" Y'all get these witnesses. Y'all need to question these. Y'all need to question them real quick. Said, what color he had on? Was it a he? Was it a she?
He said, "Johnnie," he said, "you passed right by her." I said, "Bud, you got to be kidding me." He said, "Yeah." He said, "You passed right by her." He said, "But there's no way you could have seen her." He said,
"Hey, what? What you say?" He passed by who? Hold up, y'all. Let me back this up a little bit. What? He said you passed right by her. Who did he pass right by? Jeez.
"For shallow. How did he get that boat up in there? This type of boat that I'm in, I had a trolling motor on it and everything. This type of boat that I'm in, I can float 4 to 5 inches of water. Remind you that the water was high." So
another thing that we need to make sure to clarify, and what people need to understand,
the current.
Well, where you were at, where you were, and where you found her belongings was not the same. It wasn't the same. Like it was more wide open.
Once I got in through the opening, it opened up a little bit. It opened up some pretty big. I could move my butt around good. Yeah.
I think that's one thing that people are not understanding, because if you look at the picture that Micah's family has shown, and the picture the video that I showed tonight of the PI when he threw the stick in the water, you can see you can see right there how much wider and cleared out that area is, as opposed to where her body was actually found.
Yes. I mean, people, you don't, if you don't know the river, You don't know what you're talking about. Plain and simple. You got to know the river.
Yeah, but don't get
Or a
upset with them
river.
though.
I mean, they're all pretty much the same, but you
Yeah,
have to
or-
understand how sloughs work. And
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
narrow. The further you go in, the narrower they
Well,
get,
people don't know
and the
that.
shallower they get, because it's just overflow from the river.
When it get a lot of rain, that fills up. That's
Yep.
where the water goes to.
That's what I've been trying to explain to people, and that's why I've been harping on the water levels are important for people to understand.
Yeah.
Just because it's this deep one day doesn't mean it's going to be the same depth the next day.
I've seen. Yeah.
Will you tell them about the kayaker also?
Well, you remember I told you there was a kayaker in there too. When I went inside and had her belongings, and I don't know why I picked them up, I just picked the belongings up. I'm sorry, people, that I picked them up, but I did. And let me go. I did not look in it at that time. Okay. When I came back out of the opening where I found Michael's belongings at, I happened to.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah.
Actually, that was louder.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. I missed it. I'm sorry.
Quick question before I ask the other question.
Hold on, y'all. I did something. I don't missed it wrong button. Let me take y'all back. I hit the wrong button, y'all. That's why we need to donate so I can get what I need.
There's people on here saying, I'm not even saying they were somebody weird, because I can't say that it was.
Hold on, yeah. Hold on.
When I got up,
Hold on,
moved up his kayak and moved up a little bit, his boat hit that log. The log hit her body, and her foot came up.
Hold on, y'all.
Wider and cleared out.
When it will get a lot of rain, that fills up. That's where the water goes to.
That's what I've been trying to explain to people, and that's why I've been harping on the water levels are important for people to understand. That just because it's this deep one day doesn't mean it's going to be the same depth the next day.
I've seen. Yeah.
Will you tell them about the kayaker also?
Well, you remember I told you there was a kayaker in there too. When I went inside and had her belongings, and I don't know why I picked them up, I just picked the belongings up. I'm sorry, people, that I picked them up, but I did. And let me go ahead and remind you again, I did not look in it at that time. Okay.
At that time.
When I came back out of the opening where I found Michael's belongings at, I happened to look and I didn't see the kayaker. I said, I wonder where the kayaker went to. So, let me tell you, he was not involved in this neither. So I said, I wonder where the kayaker got to. But anyway, I found out later that he had left out of the slough and went back into the river. He told me that he got back to the river because he wasn't catching fish into the slough, so he decided to go to the river and try to catch the river. So for some reason, he said he started hearing, he must have heard the law or something, I don't know. But he turned around. He told me that he went there and backtracked to where I was at. I said, "Bud, you're kidding." And he told me, he said, "Johnny," he said, "you passed right by her." I said, "Bud, you got to be kidding me."
Passed right by who? He said, buddy, these people right here told him, said, you passed right by her. Right past who? Do that lady hear what he's saying? Who did he pass by?
Hey, he said, "Yeah." He said, "You passed right by her." He said, "But there's no way you could have seen her." He said, he told me, he explained it to me. He said, "You know how you take a bag that's floating in the water and it might get a little bit of air in it, and then you'll see a little portion of the bag sticking up out of the water floating. I said, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Natasha, do you know what I'm talking about, baby?
I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Wow. He's saying that he went past her body floating in the water. Why he didn't see it and the kayaker saw it, but you saw the book bag, the funny pack. But you didn't. The man said you went right past it. You went right down the river, right past her. That's the river right there. But they saw her. The kayaker saw her. Why he didn't see her? Suspicious. Hold on, guys.
Seen it plenty of times. Bottles too. You don't never know what's underneath it.
You don't ever underneath it. So I see. I understand what you were saying. He said, but you couldn't have seen it. I said, no, I couldn't have seen it because when I was coming out of there, I was looking straight ahead. I wasn't even looking in the water.
Why?
And I'll tell you why come I wasn't looking in the water. But anyway, I was just ready to get out of there. So I come out of there. But anyway, he said, well, that's what I seen. He said, I seen it like a bag, the top of a bag floating in the water.
Yeah.
He said, but what had happened was her body was laid up against a tree or something where it had her stopped. And then there was a floating log, a piece of floating debris that was pushed up against her also. He said he still didn't realize what it was. He took his boat, moved up his kayak and moved up a little bit. His boat hit that log. The log hit her body.
What?
And her foot came up out of the water. And he said, oh my God. He said that's when he realized that it was her. And that's how he pointed it. The laws must have, if I'm not mistaken, Lord forgive me if I'm mistaken, but I believe he told me that the laws was already there. He told the laws, here she is right here.
Let me tell you, okay, let me ask y'all a question. Why they didn't interview them? Why they not on nobody's show? Why they not talking to people in the kayaker right there? They saw the body flow.
This is her body right here. I hope y'all can understand that. But yeah, I couldn't hardly believe it either. I could not believe that. I still, before he told me all that and stuff, I still didn't know what had happened until I had, gave the law her belongings. Now, as far as me making a phone call, listen, you don't have no service out there to make a phone call. Okay. But regardless of that, Micah had already made the 911 call. The laws was already there.
But it don't matter. It don't matter. You still could have called. But you said, okay, so you said it wasn't no sentinel out there. But if you're saying it's no sentinel out there, where did she get her sentinel from? You just said that. We didn't make it up. So what? She called the law. Somebody else need to call the law. I don't understand what you did, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't understand what you did.
The law that I talked with, he was a 24-hour law. He was on call 24. He told me he drove 105 mile an hour from Lumberton to get there. So it didn't take him long to get there.
How far is Lumberton from there?
It might take you about 20 minutes or so to get there from Lumberton.
Yeah, that's about right. Because I know they, she called 911 at 2:54.
She was in
and then they dispatched the officers at 3:05, and it says that the first ones were there at 3:31.
And that's another thing. I got to bring this up too. That's another thing. As far as the time wise, people listen. I really thought it was later than what it was because it seemed like I had been in that river for a long time, And I had the time confused. The only way that I found what time that it had really happened was y'all know they're gonna get confused on this. But anyway, the way that I found out what time it really was, I called a friend of mine And I told him, I said, Charles, I believe something bad has really, a buddy of mine, I shouldn't even call his name, but I said, I believe something down here has really happened real bad. And he asked me, he said, Little Jay, he said, was there anybody in that slough there?
He slipped and called his name Charles. He said, then he realized he said Charles.
With you? I said, yeah. I said, there was another fella there that was in a kayak. He said, wait a minute, Little Jay. He said, was it a yellow kayak? I said, if I ain't mistaken, I believe it was, Charles. He said, was he a big white guy? I said, yeah. He said, I know that fella. I know him. I know who you're talking about. I said, Charles, you got his phone number? He said, I do. I said, well, when I get through doing what I feel like I got to do down here, I said, I'm going to call you back, and I want to get the phone number from you so I can talk to the fella in the kayak. But anyway, I went in there, and there was a black truck sitting there. I pulled up to the truck. I said, sir.
A black truck? What? Too much going on out there. The black truck, was that JP?
I said, do you know Mike Miller? He had a drone. He had a sheriff's drone on the back of his truck. And let me back up a minute. When I pulled up to the truck, he said, hey, sir, you mind backing up? I got to send this drone off.
Okay, so
and I looked at the drone, and it was a sheriff's department, sheriff county drone. I noticed that was on there. And,
that's not me, y'all. That's them. So he was on a sheriff. He had a sheriff kind of a drone on his car. And he was in a black truck. Oh my God.
what in the world?
I said, well, wait a minute, bud. I said, listen, I got, I said, you know what my
Stop your car.
I wanted to know what her name was. I had seen her license. And, y'all, I'm doing
Johnnie, is there something going off in
He hit that phone.
that was my phone.
Okay,
And then you-
what is that?
And he started talking.
I'm sorry.
And y'all, and he know that phone gonna make some noise. No, we ain't hear him. He was still talking with the phone ringing. Why the phone ringing? He was still talking. He know we can't hear him.
But anyway,
That ain't
I
funny.
pulled up to the truck and I said, do you know Michael Miller? He said, how do you know Michael Miller? I said, wait a minute, Papa. Wait a minute now. I said, he said, he told me to step out of the truck. And that's when I stepped out of the truck and I gave him my story, this, that, and the other. You know, what happened, what I just told you. I told him my story. And he told me, he just come out and told me, he said, well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you. He said, there's been a call. Lady was going to commit suicide down here. I said, man, don't tell me that. I said, please don't tell me that. I said, I had a feeling that's what it was. And then I asked him, I said, well, how did you know about it? He said, well, she had made a phone call to 911, told him that she was going to commit suicide, that where she was located at, that she wanted her to be able, for her parents to be able to find her quickly. That was the reason why she called 911. I said, oh, Lord have mercy.
So let me clarify something. So you did not look in her bag until you gave it to the police officer?
No, when I looked into the bag is when I was going to bring it up. When I looked into the bag is when I got back to the boat landing.
Okay, all right. After you got back, you looked at it to see what was in it and whose it was.
Well, there at the boat. Have you been at the boat landing, Natasha?
Not that one, but I've looked at it on the maps.
Okay. Well, when you back down into the boat landing, they got a wall, like a wall built on both sides, and I took her belongings and I laid them up there on the wall. I loaded my little boat up. Then I went back to look at the belongings, and it was sort of open a little bit, and I looked, and there was money. I know there was over $500. I'm not going to say if there was more than $500, but I know there was $500. I didn't count all of it.
So she had $500. He said he ain't count all of it. What you doing counting it? What you doing too much, mister? Sheesh. And you're an older man. You know you can't be doing that. Why is you counting money? That don't make no sense. I'm not saying that the man was involved. I'm saying, why is he doing too much? And then she had 500 and her stuff, her gun, her weapon came up to $570, $72, something like that. This man is doing too much. I don't care what y'all say. You know, he's a Sumerian, but he doing too much.
And let me tell y'all this here too. The three people that was in the boat, they were at the landing also.
They what?
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? The people in the boat that also heard the shot were at the boat landing. They didn't disappear. They didn't run off. They didn't run back up the.
So why they not?
As far as like the notes.
How long, y'all? Why is I keep hitting this button? Okay, my thing is, why they not talking? Why they not talking? Why this man talking?
As much rain as we've had, everything's blooming.
Everything's bloomed out. You cannot. I trust you. You trust and believe me, honey. If I would have been able to see what was going on, I would have intervened. I would have.
I believe you 100%.
I mean, I would have. Just like I told you, just by her crying, if I would have been able to put my eyes on her, I'd have went over there and I'd have said, well, what's the matter, babe? What's going on with you? But you don't do stuff like that you don't do stuff like that when you in Robinson County or really anywhere on a river. You just don't intervene like that.
No,
but you intervene on picking up her book bag. So that's just like touching her. You touch the book. You touch her belongings. So you should not be doing that there.
What's going on?
No, you won't do. You don't do that here neither. You don't know what people are up to or what they got going on.
Okay, then if y'all don't know what people going, listen to what y'all saying and what he did. Listen to what you two saying, and you don't know what people got going on. So why in the devilish would you pick up that book bag and her glasses if you didn't know what was going on? Ooh, Lord, have mercy.
I mind my own business. I know I sound crazy. I only like my.
No, you didn't mind your own business. If you touch her fanny pack, man, what's wrong with you? Look like the older you get, you're supposed to be wiser. But listen to what you're saying. You didn't mind your own business. You picked up somebody else's business. Ooh, Lord, have mercy.
Voice on the.
No, you don't sound crazy. You sound like you're telling the truth.
I mean, I'm talking about the sound of my voice and everything is what I'm talking. I know I'm telling the truth. God knows I'm telling the truth. I was put there for some reason. I'm ready to find out what it is, but I know I want put there to be bashed and to be put down and to be accused of like I've been doing.
But you just said that you can't do that in Robeson County. Because you don't know what these people be up to. So why did you touch the fanny pack? You involved yourself when you touched the fanny pack. Now you upset because of people adding you in. You the only one talking. Man, okay.
Going was fishing. People have put some ugly, even on my birthday, I had to deal with a man calling me all kind of MFers. And this, that, and the other. But you know what? I handled him. I didn't fall out of character with him. You know what? You understand what I'm saying? When I got through with that man, he calmed his cussing down towards me, and he understood what I was saying.
That's why I thought it was so important for you to do this, because I know that you've done interviews and I know how even when you talk on those interviews, they only clip certain things that they want to put out there.
Yeah.
And I wanted you to be able to say what you wanted to say completely for people to hear from your own mouth and not clip together like, some other places have done. And I wanted it, just like I told you on the phone, I wanted it to be just you and me. No, no distractions as far as comments, because I know how that can be.
Oh yeah, I've learned social media, honey. I mean, it beats all I ever seen in my life. I ain't
Baptized by fire, huh?
I know how God felt. Jesus felt now. I'm telling you. It's hard.
The persecution is something else, because it just takes one person lying on you for people to run with it. And that's why I felt it was important for you to be able to.
And I'm glad she got that interview
these things
for him.
and clear these things up, so that people will just, I know it's not going to stop all of the stuff.
No, it's not. No.
But if it just stops some of them, then we've accomplished something.
Well, you know what, baby? I'm not that I've got a criminal record. I do not have a criminal record. I want somebody to pull up and find out where I've got a criminal record at. I mean, that's just, and I'm gonna tell you. Is it all right if I tell you who did that?
You say whatever you want to say.
That Kyler, not Tyler. I got to do something about that, because she has put my name through the ringer. She has said that I've got a bad, and other people coming on there. Yeah, he's got a criminal record. This, that, and other.
Well,
Somebody, and really, to be honest with you, baby, the reason I'm sorry to call you baby, that's just the way we do down here.
I know. I ain't thought one thing about it.
But I'm gonna tell you that the only reason I'm on here because I'm pissed off. I'm hurt, and I'm really pissed off, to be honest with you. I just feel like I need to take up for myself.
I just want to know. This is what I want to know. What make him think? What make him thought that he was helping someone by picking up the fanny pad and the shades off the ground after you had heard a scream and a shot? That's what I want to know.
On this thing, regardless of what anybody's got to say, I feel like I got to take up for myself. But there's gonna be some suing going on.
You can't.
Well, I mean, people are very irresponsible.
You can't sue nobody if they making they're speaking their. You can't do that. You did it. You did it. You did it. You the one picked that bag up. You the one looked in that bag and kept that money. You did that. You can't get mad at the people because you on social media. It's your fault. This social media. Oh Lord, how much it is.
That a lot the last couple of days. You can't put information out there.
Unless you know the facts.
Exactly. And if you're going to talk about
the thing is with social media, don't need to put nothing out there if you involved in something this serious. This girl unalive. I wouldn't even want to. You said you mind your business. You should have mind your own business. I mean, hey, so tell them what you heard and let them go do their job. Need to let the police do their job.
That's not a fact. Then you need to make sure that you clarify and say, I don't know this for a fact. This is my opinion, or allegedly, or something, so that other people if you have an audience and people are listening to you, then they trust you to be giving them accurate information. It's important that people don't tell lies. And, just like tonight, what we have talked about,
Y'all gonna talk
and it's
about
very
this
important
case.
if you're going to talk to somebody
Y'all don't start talking about the case.
resolved myself to, that she did this herself until that information.
It's talking about me. It seems like it's more on me than it is him.
I agree with you.
And remind you, I have never accused this man of doing that. I never said he did that. Y'all are the ones that said he's done it. I never said he did it.
That's true.
Well, the fact is, none of us know who did it right now.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows for certain who did it except the good Lord.
Okay, for the educate job, that's why you don't touch nothing that don't belong to you. You don't touch nothing. Let the police touch it. They would have put on gloves. You got your handprint all over that lady bed.
The good, I'm always put him in it. I know I've
Yeah,
cussed on here. I ain't perfect. I know I've cussed on here. Forgive me, y'all. I'm not perfect, but he knows. He knows the truth, and everybody out here are going on trying to figure this case out, figure what's going on. Y'all might as well go to bed and get you some sleep.
Oh.
and get over it and let the laws handle it. That's what the laws or the investigators, that's what they do.
Wait a minute. Listen to what you're saying. You telling them let the law do what the law supposed to do. Why you pick up that fanny pack? Why did you do that? You should have let the law do what they had to do. That's the police be telling y'all about a lot of these cases. You know, it's okay to talk about the case, but don't intervene in their job. How you gonna make that statement and you did the opposite?
On there for let them figure it out. God's going to lead the right person to figure out who did this.
I agree. I think, the best we can do is discuss the facts and keep Micah's memory alive.
Keep her alive.
And make sure that people know the truth about what happened, what we know happened anyhow, and the facts of the case. Not be coming up with crazy theories and trying to accuse people who are innocent of being involved.
You know what, Natasha?
Read the title for me,
besides Tanya Brown, I wish I never talked to nobody else but you, honey. Your I wish I'd have just talked with you. Because you understand. You understand the river, and I'm glad you had that map on there. I hope that helped the people.
I'm glad you know the river. We know the river and the kayaker and the little space over there and the little water different on the catfish and throw it back in there. I'm talking about that part, what you did, picking up that book, that fanny pack, like you telling everybody else to mind their business and let the police do their job. You should have mind your business and let the police doing the job. That's just like calling the kettle black. You can't talk about nobody and you did wrong. So
people understand. But I'm glad you had put that map up there because people had no idea.
No, they don't. And it's still, even with the map, it's hard to understand.
It's still hard to understand.
Yeah. And I know people who've never, I understand it because I've lived it, but in my own river. What's happened to you?
And listen, as far as those three people, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I got to thinking about. I said, I hope these three people, I wonder if they're keeping up with this case. And if they see them where they're getting in a part of this, I said, I hope these people don't think that I'm talking about them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Natasha?
I do, but I think they've seen, for themselves. Because when people, there's just so much speculation about, the fact that they.
Yeah.
And I've tried to clarify it. I have said one time, I've said
shout out to Natasha, y'all.
No, Johnnie said they were at the boat ramp. They didn't leave. And it depends on, because I know I had two different people go out there.
I tell you what, he a good Samaritan if he spoke, and why they ain't speak? Because they were minding they what. That's what people have to do. I wouldn't have never touched that girl belonging. I don't care whose stuff it is out there on that lady. I'm not about to touch. All I know, a snake could have popped out of it. I'm not gonna do that. And then I heard a gunshot too, and somebody screamed. Shh. And then you went past the body, and you didn't know you went past the body. And the people tell you in that kayak that you went past the body in the water. Man, this is some spooky stuff.
And they had two different kinds of cell service, and neither one of them could get a signal. So with that, I am going to open up my comments. Deck is not where the parking lot is located. The parking lot is probably...
Okay, y'all. So the man was on this. The guy y'all just heard was the fisherman. The fisherman told his part. Let me make sure he's finished talking.
Is where her
Okay. This is a better picture right here where she got. Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna put my summary on this. This man, if you heard you heard somebody crying, sound like a baby. Then you heard a shot. Allegedly, people who commit situations like this don't cry because they are doing something that they want to do. Okay? So the story is telling us the story is telling us that somebody either she could have done this, but what's she crying for? What's she crying for? Why she crying and didn't do that? Now y'all making her look like
phone was pinged.
okay, so is he okay, he gone. I guess he gone. Yeah, I don't know what to say, y'all. I just said it like he said, man. Tell the police, let the police do the job. Let the police do their job, and that's what he didn't do. He shouldn't have touched nothing. I nobody blaming that man. Nobody blaming that man. That in that situation, it make it look like Michael did it herself. Now you have to ask yourself. I just put the video out there of her going inside the pawn shop. Now, if she was in a abusive situation, y'all. So, and that man don't drove that woman to another person, to another limit, to another life. Lumber, it just, oh, I hate that happened to that young girl. Girl, wasn't like 30. She wasn't no more than about 30. If she went and bought that weapon, she could have bought it for her, y'all. She could have bought it for herself. She could have bought it for herself. Maybe she tired. She could have got tired. See, we got to look at both sides of this story. People commit suicide every day. They can't handle it no more. They can't handle depression no more. The depression is heavy on them like that. And mentally, she tired. She could have did it. All of this could be true. People do it every day, y'all, and it don't. And the way they do it, it don't make sense to us. We see it every day. We see it every day. They doing it every day. People can't. A lot of people can't handle stress, y'all. That's why you have to be careful how you approach people and pick on people. You don't know what nobody going through. If they not bothering you, leave them alone. Now I hate that this happened to this young girl. I hate that this really happened to this baby. She went for 30. And if she was, it could have happened. But it could have been somebody with her. Everything wrong in this situation. Everything happened in this situation is absolutely wrong. It was wrong. It was wrong. First of all, if she had a mental problem, it should have showed somewhere through the system. When they looked up her these people don't have backtrack y'all do no background check on y'all people. They don't do no don't do no good a thorough backtrack. Her mental status should have showed up to keep her from buying a weapon. Why that didn't happen? Why? Then soon as she got it, she put some gas in the car. Then when she put the gas in the car, she made the 911 call. We don't know what kind of medicine she took that morning that don't got in her system good. We don't know. We not Michael. Of course JP wasn't no good for her. He know what he doing. He knew what she was taking. It could have been somebody. We just got to, it might, y'all got to open up your mouth and tell somebody when y'all need help. Can't nobody try to figure out whether or not you was by yourself or with somebody and doing this and doing that. Now, when the people in the kayak say they went over there, they went back over there where the man came from, where the fisherman came from, and ain't nobody talking about them. I wonder what make him go over there. What make him go over there and pick up that book bag? I can't understand. Y'all got to start thinking for y'all do anything. And then the man messed up. The man said he messed up. The fisherman messed up. He said that one of used to be calling police because there's no signal out there. And then Michael had already called 911. So that sounds like you don't have a conversation with somebody. And everybody on his phone who he talked to knew Michael. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section, man. I tell you, if you're going through something and you need help, you need to get on the phone and call somebody. Or tell a trusted friend. I just don't understand why Michael must, when Michael went in that pawn shop, Michael wasn't herself. When she went in that pawn shop and bought that weapon, she wasn't herself then. People didn't know she wasn't herself. She wasn't herself. She couldn't have been herself. Because look what happened. She was another person at that time, y'all. You can't tell when somebody's anxiety don't kick in on them. You don't know. You don't know. That's why it's best not to mess with people. But y'all do it anyway. You get a thrill out of messing with people. It don't bother me because I know how to deal with people. I deal with people. That's my major. I deal with people. But everybody can't handle that like me. Stress is serious, y'all. Anxiety is very serious. These are not these people. If she got off that mad, if she discontinued her mad, man, this could have drove that girl that way, y'all. And I want to give my condolences to her family. She got a beautiful family. I love y'all. I'm out of here.